Alrighty, well, hello sinners. How are ya? On today's installment of the Letterboard of Truth, our quote of the day is... Who's the real cringe? Honestly, we all are. Yeah, especially you. Some would argue that cringe isn't real, and I respectfully disagree. Is it often misused? Yes. A lot of people use cringe as a synonym for uncool, and I don't agree with that. However, there are things that are genuinely cringe. For example, Matt Walsh selling a plushie of himself as a baby for $25? Cringe. The most satisfying type of cringe, in my opinion, is the cringe that elicits a full body reaction. Like, the secondhand embarrassment is just so much that you can't help but to physically recoil from your computer, which makes me even more excited to go through r/sadcringe with you all today. I can guarantee that you will have at least one physical response within the next several minutes. I'm telling you right now, this will be a tough watch, but it'll only bring us closer together. Now, excuse me while I be cringy for a second and do an ad read. I'm here in a different shirt to let you know that there are currently people making money off your personal information. Let me explain. Your legal name, personal email, home address, phone number, and even your relatives' information are available for anyone to search because of data brokers. These data brokers make a fortune selling your information to anyone who wants to learn more about you, whether that be robocallers, spammers, telemarketers, you name it. As a little experiment, I googled my partner's name, and sure enough, I found her home address within seconds. Of course, I knew it already, being her girlfriend, but that doesn't mean strangers on the internet should also have that knowledge. With that being said, I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is a service designed to identify data brokers exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. After setting up my account, Aura found my personal info on 25 different data broker websites. Aura monitors your email addresses and passwords to see if they were exposed on the dark web. This was actually how I found out my personal email account was found in a Twitter data breach earlier this year. Getting that notification was just a great way to start my day. At one affordable price, Aura goes above and beyond to protect you and your loved ones from online threats you can't see. Instead of downloading 50 different softwares to try to protect your personal info, just use Aura's app. It features parental controls, a VPN, password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, and malware protection for your registered devices. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. If you sign up right now with my link, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial. So make sure to go to aura.com/Annamarie to claim your 2-week free trial. That's aura.com/Annamarie. Today's the day you stop letting people exploit and profit off your personal information. You can click the link at the top of the description or just scan the QR code right here. You barely have to lift a finger. So stay safe, sinners. Thank you very much to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to your scheduled programming. All right, now we can get into the real cringe, besides myself.
I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. Yeah. Someone in here?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I have to say, singing Wonderwall while taking a dump is icon behavior. No matter how old I get, farts are funny. I'm sorry. Lock me in a room and throw away the key. However, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think the real cringe is the girl recording. There's just been this uptick of people on social media filming strangers in public. Now, granted, she didn't film the other person's face, which is good. That would be even weirder and even more of a violation. But you're still recording this girl without her permission, and that's kind of messed up. And I know I said farts are funny, and they always will be, and I will die on that hill. But it's a bathroom. That's what you're gonna hear. That is the time and place to fart. You're gonna hear people shitting and pissing and farting and queefing, whatever. I assume the original girl started recording because the other person was singing and didn't expect the fart to come out. That seemed like it came out of nowhere. But even so, recording strangers is weird. And especially since the person singing sounded a little on the younger side, I don't know, that's kind of questionable to me. Hey, killer vocals though. You know, I'm sure people have done worse while shitting. I know I have. That is, if I ever have shit. After all, girls don't poop. Is it gay for a man to tell another man good morning? Okay. I am a 23-year-old male. My dad and I were out at the laundromat, and as we were leaving, another man walks in. I make eye contact with him and I say, "Good morning." He replies, "Y'all fellas all right?" When we walk out, my father tells me, "Don't ever say good morning to a man around your age. Guys would think you're a little sweet. You understand me? Next time, say, 'What's up?' or 'What's going on?' To a woman, it's fine, but not a man. When you're out on the streets, don't say that." I don't understand this at all. When is it ever gay or wrong for a man to say good morning to another man? I say good morning to everyone, male and female, at work all the time and have no issues. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think my dad is being absurd. Is it gay for a man to tell another man good morning? Holy shit, that is deranged thinking. Fellas, is it gay to be polite to a stranger of the same gender? I mean, listen, when I was self-hating and in the closet, I used to overthink my interactions with people of the same gender. So maybe your dad is fighting through some of his own internalized homophobia. I promise no one reads into someone saying good morning to them. That is one of the most neutral ways to start a conversation. That's just like a thing you say to people, like good morning, how are you, hello. That's just small talk 101. His dad seems like the kind of dude that buys into that alpha bro stuff where like guys have to be this hyper masculine man who need to dominate a room when they walk in and be big and strong and confident, and meanwhile they overthink just saying good morning to another man. That's like the most insecure bullshit I've ever heard. With that being said though, by saying good morning to this man, you basically sucked his dick. Anyway, did you know I put dogs down for a living? I love to hear them whimper as the lights leave their eyes. What? So are you like a vet tech, or are you just K-wording dogs out of nowhere? Someone better contact the law. You up? Are you okay? Not even trying to like have a conversation with this person. Toes curl. Good, yourself? Ooh. Like, why would... I don't have words for this. Were these two people already having a conversation and then the guy with the gray text was just like, "I put down dogs for a living. Do you want to go grab some sushi later?" Or did they just text this person out of nowhere to let them know that they euthanize pets? Whatever the case may be, I want the person behind the gray text to stay as far away from me as possible. All right, so this next one I assume is from like some Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace listing. I'm giving out this MacBook that I bought to surprise my wife for her birthday, but then caught her cheating on me. I know I could sell it and get my money back, but I want to show her I gave it away for nothing, like she is to me. Oh, pick your head up, King. Your crown is falling. I'm so sorry. That is such shitty timing. And I'm sure it's been hard trying to figure out the best possible way to go about that since you are legally married, I assume. Just like return the MacBook and put the money towards a divorce lawyer. This just seems petty, and you're screwing yourself out of $2,000 for a gotcha moment. That's not going to be satisfying in the long run. Or you could donate it to like a school or a library or something. That could be cool. I don't know if that's like a thing, but I don't know. If it were me, I would want every single cent back. All right. This next one made me actually upset. This person is a furry, which is fine. Furry rights, but their fursuit is painted with a Confederate flag design and they're holding up a poster with Donald Trump. Listen, I try really hard to be an accepting person, but what the fuck is this? And like, fursuits are expensive too, so this was absolutely intentional. I actually looked up the average price of a fursuit. Maybe I'm the real cringe here. I didn't really get a straight answer from Google, but what I did find was that the average price of a good fursuit is anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000. And like the lower end suits were like $300, $400, $500, which is still a lot of money. Regardless, I assume this person at least paid for the suit. Maybe they painted the Confederate flag on themselves, but it looks professionally done, so I assume they got it custom painted. This is like intentional cringe. Painting a racist symbol on your furry suit, like come on! I don't know what year this was from. I assume sometime between 2016 and now. I think this is timeless cringe. Like, people are gonna look at this in 30 years and still cringe just as much as they would in 2023. I would like some bleach for my brain though, so I could scrub this from my memory. All right, so this next one is a video that I am so excited to show you. I don't know the context of it, but I assume it's from one of those man on the street TikTok interviews.
Hello.
Y'all like bodybuilders?
Bodybuilders?
Yeah.
I like skinny, scrawny guys.
How about multimillionaires? How about 8 inches and thick? How about talented? How about loving and respectful? How about my wife 10 weeks ago? 21 years faithful. My daughter committed suicide 3 weeks ago.
Oh, shit.
13. She was faster than me at 12, and I run a 6-minute mile. My testimony, I'm nothing but pure, and I ask you if you want to be in the YouTube channel. And you like scrawny guys.
I know, he trauma dumped on us like...
That is wild. Hey, my daughter killed herself. Do you want to have sex with me? My wife left me and my daughter's dead. You want to like, maybe I just don't understand men because do men really think that this sort of attitude will win them dates or, you know, get people to want to bang them or whatnot? I feel like I know way too much about this dude. Like, his wife left him. His 13-year-old daughter unfortunately passed on. 8 inches, bodybuilder. If he is actually going through that, I'm so sorry, but also don't use your situation as a way to pick up random girls on the beach. But hey, he runs a 6-minute mile, so can't all be that bad. So this next one is a nice little palette cleanser to get through the second half of this video. And it's an ad for a solo table tennis toy, which I thought was really wholesome and I kind of want one now. The only toy I could find that was remotely close to this is like 15 bucks on Amazon. So depending on the conversion, I'm technically getting a deal, but this seems like it would be a fun party game or a drinking game of some sorts. I don't think this is cringe. I think this seems like genuine fun. So for this next one, we have a post from Not How Girls Work that was cross-posted, which is another subreddit that's a fan favorite of the channel. I'm standing in line at the coffee shop and some petite cutie with bright blue eyes and curly, dirty blonde hair stares at me. My heart winces in pain and I fight the urge to karate chop her out of self-defense. Sorry, but go hurt someone else. I don't need help. Take your home from college hot girl summer somewhere else, boo. I'm not entertaining your ego. I don't want to be friends, and I'm not following you on Insta because I truly don't care where your butt cheeks are going on vacay this time. Leave me in peace. My New Year's resolution was to do 2023 single. Honestly, it isn't hard when you're pent up with hurt and disappointment. I'm doing better this year than I've ever been. Yeah, I could tell. Making more money than I ever had. Pursuing things that make me happy, and focusing on myself. I don't need a friend group, and I certainly don't need a girlfriend. I'm not interested in making new friends, and I'm not interested in meeting the one. I don't trust any of you. Period. Right after this, I'm sure the girl was like, and would you like room for cream, sir? All right, so a girl smiled at you. Okay. She's not getting down on one knee and proposing to you in the middle of the Starbucks. You could relax a little bit. It's very common for strangers to smile or nod at each other when they're passing by. It just seems like he took this as an excuse to brag about how good he's doing without a woman in 2023, when in reality, are you really? And you didn't have to go on like that little misogynistic rant about girls on Instagram or having a hot girl summer or whatnot. Just get your coffee, maybe without caffeine, and go on your merry way. So this next post I have is an apartment listing from, I assume, Craigslist, and I think this guy is gonna give you an offer you can't refuse. Looking for a roommate who can help pay bills and electric, who has a job, who can afford these things, maybe a lady of roommate who has a job, that's what I prefer, who cannot afford the rent and the electric. I paid my part, she has to pay her part, has to pass the background check. Oh yes, I'm single and I live in this apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm looking for a lady who will love to live with me and split the bills, possibly a relationship. And And I always say that. Today marks 13 years of me not having sex, and I couldn't be any happier. I laugh at all the people getting STDs and wearing a rubber balloon condom on their dicks like clowns. P.S. Just waiting for the love of my life to knock on my door, and then I'll break the trend. Here's a little life hack for you on social media as someone who has been on the internet for over half her life. If someone is bragging about how happy they are on social media, they're lying. They're probably not that happy. I think anyone who's truly happy and content with their current situation doesn't have to brag on the internet about how happy and content they are about their situation. And what is it with this STD shaming? Like, yeah, no one wants an STD, but that is a normal part of having sex with people, and it shouldn't be as stigmatized as it is. And I also love how he's clowning on people who are having safe sex with condoms. Like, that's not the dig you think it is. If you want to be celibate for a while, that's totally fine. That's up to you. Don't have sex when you don't feel like it. But this holier than thou attitude is just not it. I'm 40 and I don't date girls over 24. Oh my gosh, did we just find Leonardo DiCaprio's burner account? My girlfriends are 20, 21, and 24. The 24-year-old, I've been with her since 2 years. Too much mileage and baggage when they're older than that. Trust me, I've tested it extensively. Oh, I'm sure you have, buddy. 18 to 24 only. Understand the game. I'm so glad I'm gonna be aging out of his dating group in like 3 months. Also, are we sure these are real people? Because both images, especially the second one, looks like it was generated by AI. But a different person followed up with Ben's post and said, I said this in another comment, but I just want to point out that the guys behind these accounts hire us, sex workers, to hang out with them and take pictures, LMAO. Last summer, I was on a boat with 4 other women, and the guys who booked it took selfies and Snapchat with us all day, which ended up on one guy's alpha male account where he was like, these women flocked to me. Sir, we were there because you paid us to sit in on a rented boat with you. That guy also went on weird rants about women's ages and was like, look at all these 20-year-old girls I hang out with, not like those hags over 25. Reader, half the women on that boat were over 30, and that dung beetle and all his followers literally could not tell. They have no fucking clue. In the strip club, they regularly ask 32-year-old strippers with kids if they're in school because they think they're 21. They cannot tell. It doesn't matter how much they screech that they can. Ooh. Wow. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that these alpha dudes hire sex workers to pretend to be the girls that are with them. Most things you see on social media, especially Instagram, are at least a little bit of a fabrication. But let's address the obvious. As a 40-year-old man, do you think it's really wise to admit that you like 18-year-old girls on a public platform? Is that really the flex you think it is? Because to me, that's a bit creepy. As someone who is 24 at the very top of your dating preference, I couldn't imagine dating someone who's 18 years old. Like, I look at 18-year-olds like children, even though they can like vote and buy a gun. And I'm not saying that as a way to like degrade or like belittle 18-year-olds. I think there are a lot of capable, smart, independent 18-year-olds out there. I'm just saying emotionally, what is the difference between a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old? Now, before all the age gap weirdos get on my case, I'm going to end the conversation there. Last, but certainly not least, we have one final post, and it's a TikTok of this dude who ate his wife's raw placenta. So if you're squeamish to that stuff, I would skip to the end of the video. Here is the timestamp that you can skip to.
Oh, my son was just born like 5 minutes ago. I can't stop crying, and I'm about to eat raw placenta. Oh my god. What do I just swallow it whole? Okay, check it out. Oh, there it is. It's raw placenta with honey from my newborn son that was just born. I can't stop crying. I'm gonna do it. Do I just swallow the whole thing?
Go ahead and check it back. Okay. Sorry,
Then I'm chewing it.
Babe, look. I'm chewing it. See? It's our son's placenta. Babe, look.
Testicle king out.
I'm sorry, testicle king? So I've heard about these like raw meat TikTokers that eat raw meat. I've been wanting to make a video on those sort of guys, so if you would like to see that, let me know down below. But that is crazy. I mean, first of all, congrats to this guy and his wife. I'm sure they have a beautiful family, and I hope his wife recovered smoothly. With that being said, is it common for people to eat their baby's placenta? Because isn't that like, you know, like the bacteria and stuff like filtered from the baby? I could be completely wrong, but that doesn't seem like the smartest thing to do. Does cooking it make it better? I know it's like not an uncommon practice because I've heard of parents doing that before, but to me, eating placenta sounds a little unsanitary, especially raw placenta. I don't know, not to parent shame or anything. If you've given birth or your partner or whoever has given birth, please let me know if that's a common practice. Yeah, that's r/sadcringe for you. As uncomfortable as I have been these past few minutes, I had a lot of fun going through it. I like just talking sometimes, and I hope you do too. If you would like to see me go through r/sadcringe again, let me know down below. If there are any other similar subreddits you'd like to see me talk about, please let me know down below as well. And in general, if there's anything you'd like to see me talk about going forward, I have a Google form linked in the description where you could submit your video ideas. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you very much to Aura for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video. Bye!